Okay, everybody, we're still working on this, the underside of the bay window. This is my extra 3/4 inch piece of plywood, and I'm going to use these 1¼ by 8 inch star drive screws, and I'm going to put them into, I'm going to pre-drill every 6 inches all the way around this thing, and I might have to get a star bit here also. I got the right one. I'm going to start over. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-drill this bottom piece of plywood that's going to go on the underside. We're doubling up that bottom piece of plywood. This is 3/4, the other one's 3/4. This is poplar plywood, real nice. And I'm going to use a star exterior screw. And it's 1¼ by 8, so it will not penetrate the other piece of plywood on the inside, because the inside is probably going to be finished. And so what I'll do is I'll go through and just pre-drill it all. And this is the underside, like I said, so it won't be even seen. But I like to have everything fairly finished. And this will probably get painted along with the rest of the house. And the reason I'm pre-drilling is because it'll suck this plywood up to the other plywood way better if you pre-drill it. And I'm using a countersink bit also. So this will give that whole bay window an awful lot of integrity. And then I'll take you out and I'll show you where I'm at with this whole thing. So what I'll do is have this all pre-drilled. I'll probably even insert a couple screws so it's ready to go. And then I'll take this guy. I'm all set up with this guy here, see? And I'll just do a couple just to get it in, you know, that way when I put it in place it'll be, I won't have to fumble around for screws. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to take you out there now. I'm going to show you how this is going to work. Okay, we're rolling again. And now, here's my piece of plywood here. Like I say, we're doubling this bottom up, so this is going to be a full inch and a half up in here. See, and like I say, it's already been pre-drilled. There's one. Now that has not gone into the inside of the plywood on the inside because the screws are just the right length. And so that's what we're going to have, see. She's all doubled up. It'll be real nice. And then I can trim all this stuff out, remount my windows again. I'm going to push them up a little bit, and then you can see the reason this is not falling down is because I've attached those blocks to the soffit, which is nailed very well up into the top there. And that's why the windows don't fall down. It's quite a solid unit at this point. And then I can always add, I'll either do 45s here, or I might trim it out with angled plywood all the way around so it has kind of like the look of the shadow right there. It'll probably have something like that on the bottom. What I've determined is I'm not going to shim the window up after all, because I like the way it sits right here on this nice sill. There's a real nice margin there, and what I'm going to probably do is do kind of a finished trim on the inside, and up on top you can see there's a decent trim or a decent margin up there, which I like. And I'm going to go outside and I'm just going to show you how I'm going to screw these back into place, so I didn't have to actually take the window back out to reinstall or do this job. So it's going to turn out pretty cool. Okay, here it is. So like I say, I like that margin. I've got my double plywood here. These are hitting real nicely here. And then the integrity of this whole assembly here, like I say, comes from the top where I've nailed those blocks into the soffit, and then the top plywood is nailed to those blocks also. You saw that part. And what I'm going to do is screw it together, or screw the windows in fully. So let me get my, now what I'm using, and like I said, I use that poplar plywood instead of a CDX, because CDX is not near as good as this stuff. And I'm using, these are actually, they tend to be a roofing screw. This came with some snap lock roofing that I put down, roofing. And this is the screw that you use to screw the one side down, and then you snap the roof over. But you can buy this. This is just a washer head, nice screw, basically. And we're going to screw the holes, screw these into the holes of the window now. So you can see that works real nice. You can do every hole if you want, or you can do every other hole. And what we'll probably do is every hole, as long as it doesn't start splitting the plywood. So I'll go ahead and fill all the holes up here. Done. As you can see, I opted to use every single screw hole on the window, because what that does is just creates a very solid unit, and the integrity of this bay window is absolutely strengthened by using every hole. And these are all, like I say, washer head sheet metal screws, and I had a kind of a mixture, and actually some of them had drill bit heads on them. And now what I'm going to do, as you can see, I built those block system. I put the blocks above, and I nailed them real well with the my pin nailer. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to pre-drill. Remember, this is the soffit. I'm going to go in on an angle, and then what I'll do is I'll use these guys. And these are an external or exterior screw also. And then they have this head on, or they have the machine threads on the bottom of the screw, which actually allows the screw to get sucked up in there better yet. So you can see how that is going in there. So I'll go along and I'll do that all the way around the top here to help increase the strength of this unit into the soffit. So I'm going to go all the way around this whole deal, all the way through here, all the way along the front, and all the way along the other side, and that'll assure that these blocks are screwed into the soffit, and this soffit is tight into the rafters. So there you go. So I'll go do that. You guys take a lunch break. Next task can be accomplished by, is going to be done by a couple of ways, or can be done by a couple of ways. I've gone up in here and put insulation up in here, and there actually is a header. And this old house is built in 1947, so there was a big window here at one point, and who knows actually what else was up in here, but there is a single 2x4 header that goes up across in here. And then there's the studs on the other side. And so I have one 2x4, which is on the back of the sheetrock right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, and there's going to be trim on here eventually, of course, obviously. But I want to make sure that this is totally in the level position. See, it's just basically free floats right now. So what I'm going to go through here and do is I'm going to put a 4-inch screw here, and it's going to go up into the header. And I'm going to put a 4-inch sheetrock screw here. That'll go into the header. Then I'll do one more 4-inch screw right here, and that'll go into the header. And this stick right here is going to keep this all, it's going to be my level, basically, to make sure that that plywood up top is level when I put this together. So I'll show you how I do that. So I have a countersink bit, and I'm going to pre-drill the hole, just like so. Just enough so I can put a wood plug in there. Okay, that's pre-drilled. Now I've got my 4-inch sheetrock screws. And you see I needed 4-inch sheetrock screw to get up into that wood header. See, it's biting right now. Now, it's going to be kind of this will allow me to adjust this back into a level position. See, it's got to go up right there. So I'll pull her up a little bit more. You can see it going up. And I've got 2 more screws, one on either side of that one to put in yet. And they can go just yeah, it's pretty close right there. So now what I'll do is I'll put this side in. And like I say, you can do a little bit of adjustment when you get ready to put your trim in with this open, exposed screw. You can see it sucking it up. And then I'll put one more right here. Now, it's kind of like a threshold for a door there that is adjustable. Okay, see, so that's pretty good. I've got to go up a little bit more right here. Just a little bit, not much. And then the final adjustment can be done with your trim board up here to make sure that this is all, fairly level and straight. That's pretty good. We can actually go up a tiny bit here. And then you can always eyeball it. And it looks like the middle's got to come up a little bit more. Now that's pretty darn close. And as you can see, this house is so crooked from 1947 that my distance here with the old window and my distance here, there's like about an inch here and there's probably an inch and a half here. So these old houses, they shift, so you have to kind of play around with an old house like that. All right, there you go. Okay, so here's the window. It's all nicely cleaned. It's beautiful. I don't have my final trim on. I don't have my final trim on the inside here, but one of the most important things that you have to do now, before your cat freaks out, you take your kitty cot and you stick it back up, because if you don't have your kitty cot up, your cat's going to be pissed. We'll put it like right there. And this one's got a little dust on it. Let's do this. This kitty cot was in the construction phase of the house here, or of this window, so I gotta clean them off. And you should always pay attention to clean off your kitty cot suction cups anyway. These are the best suction cups you can find. These are made by Adams Manufacturing. They're American made and they are patented. And their patent is that as the light goes through these suction cups, it diffuses the light so it doesn't discolor your furniture. That's one of the cool things about it. Like I say, there's some dust on it from the construction phase, but I don't think Aqua's going to mind too bad. Let's put it right about there. That looks pretty level. To make sure she's level. Right about there. that level? Let's see if it's level. I want it to look good. There it is. All I need is echo to show up and get it on the kitty cot. Okay, thanks for joining me. You can find that cat perch at kittycot.com. I make them. I build them right in my shop. Now there's one beautiful window. And she is solid. Okay, folks, thanks for joining me. And I'll show you some more a little bit later on when we get into doing the interior trim and that kind of stuff. Okay, I wanted to show you here that I ended up going to Home Depot and I bought some brown metal flashings, and I've actually doubled this up. There's a couple of, there's a piece underneath. If I pan in a little bit closer, you can see there's one piece which was a drip edge, an inside corner of a drip edge, and it had a couple of bend tabs on it. And maybe you can see it if I go up in there a little closer. But there's a piece up in there, and then that goes all the way around up in there. So I fashioned this flashing for the top of the window, like I say, from parts that I got at Home Depot. And it seems to work really well. It definitely keeps the water out. And like I said, there's 2 layers of it. And it has a little bit of a ripple edge, ripple in the front there because it wasn't bent. That's an inside. It's a step flashing, really. It's like a dormer, or it's a step flashing of some sort. And then what I also did here, you can see I got that spray foam, and I foamed around in the edges here, and I also foamed the underside that had a big gap in there, and I foamed that. And believe me, this stuff is tough. It creates one heck of a nice seal. And then all the window holes are filled with these sheet metal washer head screws. And it does work real nice, so that's pretty much the end right there until we're going to paint our house, obviously, and it's kind of a mess, but we're going to do, a paint job, and this will all get wood trim all the way around, which will be real nice. And that's cool. And then once again, I wanted to show you the inside here. So this is the inside of the window, pretty much finished up. I have to do some interior trim work around the windows, but this was that poplar plywood made in USA that I got from Home Depot, and it actually is a real nice finished wood. So that's actually going to be finish right there. The top is also going to be the poplar plywood, and that's finish. The sides, I'm going to add another piece, I do believe, right there, because I'm going to have to build this side out and to accept the trim. So this will probably get half log trim around here, pretty much like the rest of the house. So you can see the log trim all over the place here, and we've got this, like I say, is an old house. You might as well call it this old house. And I wanted to show you a piece of my furniture here. I built this quite a few years ago. So I do rustic furniture also. There's another kind of a funky little piece right here. But that's it. That's how to build a 8-foot bay window for $500. Thanks for watching.